Cyberpunk. Picture a megacity where giant corporations own everything. Skyscrapers reach into the clouds, covered in flashing neon signs and holographic ads. People live in tiny apartments stacked on top of each other, with the rich living high up and the poor down on the dark streets. Everything's connected by cables and watched by flying drones. Think Tokyo or Hong Kong, but way more extreme and high-tech. Steampunk. Imagine if the Victorian era, 1800s, had super advanced technology, but everything still ran on steam power. Buildings look like old Victorian houses but with huge copper pipes, spinning gears, and steam shooting out everywhere. Instead of cars, there are airships floating around. Everything's made of brass, wood, and iron, and you can see all the mechanical parts working. Dieselpunk. This is like the 1920s to 1940s but with way more industrial power. Think Art Deco buildings, those sleek, geometric styles, mixed with huge factories, oil refineries, and military hangars. Everything runs on diesel fuel and big engines. There are armored cars on the streets and massive airships in the sky. It's all about raw mechanical power and heavy industry. Atompunk. Remember those 1950s, 60s diners with the boomerang shapes and space-age design? Now imagine entire cities built that way, but everything's powered by atomic energy. There are fallout shelters in every backyard, rocket ships are normal transportation, and everything's designed to look futuristic, in that retro 1950s way. Lots of chrome, bright colors, and atomic symbols everywhere. Solarpunk. This is the optimistic green future. Cities are covered in plants and solar panels. Buildings are made of wood and grow their own food on balconies and rooftops. Instead of parking lots, there are community gardens and repair shops where people fix things instead of throwing them away. Everything runs on renewable energy and people share resources. It's basically, what if we solved climate change and made cities awesome? Biopunk. Instead of building with concrete and steel, everything's grown from living organisms. Walls are made from mushroom roots, lights come from glowing algae, and buildings can actually heal themselves if they get damaged. It's like the city itself is alive, ventilation systems work like lungs, and maintenance crews are more like doctors taking care of a living organism. Post-apocalyptic salvage core. After civilization collapses, people build shelters from whatever they can find. Old shipping containers become homes, billboard tarps become walls, and everything's held together with salvaged parts. People collect rainwater, grow food on rooftops, and jury-rig solar panels and wind turbines. Nothing matches, but everything serves a purpose. It's all about survival and making do with what's left. Brutalist dystopia. Take those blocky, concrete government buildings that look like fortresses, then make them even more oppressive. Thick walls, tiny windows, and wide empty plazas that make people feel small and watched. Inside, there are low ceilings, harsh fluorescent lights, and narrow hallways designed to control how people move around. The architecture itself is meant to remind you that the government is more powerful than you are. Archology. Imagine one massive building that's basically an entire city. Tens of thousands of people live, work, and play all in the same megastructure. It has its own farms, water recycling, power generation, and transportation system. You might never need to leave the building. It's super efficient but also kind of claustrophobic, like living in a giant mall that never ends. Space opera modernism. Think of airports, but designed for spaceships instead of airplanes. Everything's sleek, white, and curved, with huge windows looking out into space. There are customs areas for different planets, diplomatic zones for alien species, and blast shields that come down during rocket launches. It's meant to show that humanity has become a unified, high-tech civilization ready to explore the galaxy. Dark fantasy. Medieval castles cranked up to 11. Massive stone towers perched on cliffs, with narrow windows that barely let in light. Inside, everything's lit by torches and candles, with high-arched ceilings and stained glass windows showing scary mythical creatures. It's built more to look intimidating and mystical than to actually be practical for defense. Think Game of Thrones, but even gloomier. Clockpunk. This is Renaissance-era technology, but instead of steam power, everything runs on clockwork mechanisms. Buildings have intricate gear systems, weight-powered elevators, and mechanical robots that wind up like old clocks. Town squares have elaborate astronomical clocks, and building facades are decorated with gear patterns. It's all about precision craftsmanship and the beauty of mechanical engineering. Teslapunk. Set in the early days of electricity, when it was still new and exciting. City skylines are full of copper coils, glass vacuum tubes, and electrical towers shooting sparks. Nikola Tesla's wireless power transmission actually works, so electricity flows through the air to power streetcars and elevators. Electricity isn't just functional, it's a public spectacle, with electrical displays lighting up the night sky. Afrofuturist. This combines traditional African design with advanced future technology. Buildings are shaped like baobab trees, walls are covered in solar panels woven like traditional Kent cloth, and ventilation systems copy how termite mounds stay cool. Transportation follows ancient trade routes but uses magnetic levitation. It's about imagining a future where African culture and knowledge lead technological advancement. Subnautical artifice. Underwater cities protected by clear domes or grown from coral. Flexible tunnels connect different sections, and everything has to handle the water pressure. There are kelp farms for food, tidal generators for power, and fiber optic cables that bring sunlight down from the surface. The whole city can move up and down in the water, rising for repairs and sinking deep during storms.